And both of you, I would have to ask, both of you are like really fit dudes, right? From your own experience, what role does do cannabinoids play or CBD play um, in a person's fitness regimen, in your fitness journey? If I were to elaborate a little bit more on what I'm trying to specifically get at here, guys, is that you know how in the TV and all, bro, they show that the stoner is like usually a very slim dude who is like very weak, like yeah, bro, like a very and even the general impression that we have in India, especially Ashwin, जो बोलते हैं ये नशेड़ी है मतलब ऐसे धक्का मारेंगे गिर जाएगा you know that the weak, that people who indulge in anything which has the cannabis plant is they are weak. What would you can you shed some light on how we can bring more awareness? Now of course we have the three of us who are all users of some cannabis product, not you Ashwin anymore, right? Sorry,
No, I do
Ashwin,
use your product, really.
oh,
Honestly,
still
you.
using, right? So, yeah, all three. Yeah. And so that's one option, and that's one example. And can you share from your insights, Ashwin, since you have been a celebrated fighter, you started shoot fighters and everything such a long time ago. And
Yeah.
Blake, you are just basically really jacked. Can you tell? Can you guys say how has CBD uh, influenced your fitness or influenced your health? With starting with you, Ashwin, because AB,
Okay.
like
Okay. All
we
right.
can start
Cool.
with it.
So yeah, I mean, you remember when I reached out to you and asked for some CBD? This was 2 years ago.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So then that's the time when I was like really sick, dude. I was really really sick at that point of time because I had been exposed to toxic mold for more than a year in my house, and that had made me really really sick. And then I started taking the CBD, and I started recovering. And I went from 61 kgs to 71 kgs. I put on 10 kgs of muscles just because it did something. It just made me, it increased my appetite, made me want to eat good food, and it improved my sleep, which gave me enough rest so that I can recover. And then it improved also my the condition of my uh, digestion, breathing, because my lungs got damaged due to the mold. And so just having these drops regularly, and then I could drive all the way from the mountains back to South India, which is a journey of 3,000 kilometers
Yeah,
uh,
that's far.
because of this. Yeah, just using the oil. So it's pretty incredible, really.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
Ashwin, would you say that it makes people? How would you address the stereotyping of cannabis users in India, especially the nashedi one and all?
Well, there's an element of truth to that because people are not really, they're not really uh, doing it for health. They're just doing it to get high. Okay, so those guys might look like that, but that's really not all cannabis users, right? Some of the biggest athletes I know are using CBD, and I've seen. I mean, it's good for pain recovery. See, because as athletes, we have to manage our pain. Uh, Muscles don't get big without giving them pain, right? So when we do that, when we have CPD, we just sleep so good. We wake up the next day all fresh. Muscles are all soft and ready for the next day. So that's possible only with CBD. And so a lot of athletes are doing, a lot of athletes, and it's totally legal too, right? It's not a psychotropic, so it's perfectly all right to have this
Yeah.
life enhancing medicine, and anybody
Yeah.
can do it. Really, it's totally safe for everyone.
And Ashwin, I would like to elaborate on that. You said it's legal too. So in India, CBD is only legal when sold with a prescription.
That's right.
Any yes, any cannabis extract, the CBD and THC are not differentiated within our law books. can be sold as a Schedule 4 substance when prescribed by a doctor. So, to everybody watching this, make sure that you purchase from a website which has a medical panel and which provides you with a doctor which can give you guidance on what the dosage should be, whether it's safe for you, whether it's how long your treatment course should be. All these factors they need to be addressed, and you should only be purchasing with a prescription when you're buying CBD. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right. So I have prescribed it as a Siddha doctor. I've prescribed it to some of my patients, and I had particularly one cancer patient, and for her, CBD was very useful to manage her pain. You know, it didn't save her life because she was in a really advanced stage, but it did help her to manage her pain to the end. So I think for people with chronic pain, CBD is a blessing. I've prescribed it to people who have multiple sclerosis, and they've really benefited from it. They've been able to manage their pain and work better. That combined with exercise and a good diet can cure you of your uh, chronic diseases like multiple sclerosis, which cause you a lot of pain, or fibromyalgia, which is just shifting pain in your body. It's because look, the endocannabinoid system is the chill system. It makes everything to chill, to sit down, take a breath, take a breather, and everything works in its most efficient manner by just taking a few moments. Like, Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 8 hours to cut a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening the axe and just 2 hours to cut the tree, right? So you've really got to take a step back and strategize and relax, and even your body needs to do that. And that's when CBD can help you to do that physiologically as well, not just psychologically, but even physiologically. Your body takes a step back, considers it, doesn't go into its usual loop of, fear and trying to avoid pain. But with CBD, your body starts to look for progress. It starts not just repair, it's not just firefighting, it's coming up with a strategy for the future of how your body should be. So my body just transformed with this new neurobiological input that's coming in with the cannabinoids. It's invisible, right? It's microscopic and invisible. We can't really see it, but we can feel its effects in our body. And anybody should be able to do that. Anybody can have access to it who has a real problem.
Yeah.
At least that's what it is. And there are a lot of people with real problems.
Yeah, I fully agree with everything you're saying. I mean, my goodness, there's so many people that have such a broad range of health issues, and here in the United States, within the hemp industry, the medical marijuana industry, oh my goodness, there's thousands of doctors now that are involved supporting this. I mean, even, my doctor just down the road, she even has a partnership now with a CBD brand here in the United States. I mean, she is that, she's a full-on ND, and she has a direct partnership with this company, the CBD brand, because she knows just how much it's helping her patients. And we did that other interview, Vinesh, with Tim Gordon, who's literally one of the founding fathers of the medicinal cannabis, the hemp, the medicinal marijuana, the marijuana legalization movement in the United States. That guy works with, I don't know how many different doctors, helping different, people over the past 20, 30 years, with a range of health issues. And even, I don't know if you remember this story, Vinesh, I'm 47 now. When I was 22, I was diagnosed with an extremely debilitating autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. And to ankylosing, or to ankylose, means fusion. And basically, here I was, 22, prime of my life. The doctor said, "Hey, sorry, pal, but your entire spine is going to fuse into one solid mass of bone." And it was already happening in my sacrum, my sacroiliac joints, and in my lower lumbar. The x-rays are showing that all of these bones were just growing together. And I can't even begin to describe how painful it was, because you can imagine your entire nerve, central nervous system, all of that is the corridor, that is the life, the highway of all this neural activity. And so all of these nerves going into my legs and in my lower back were just getting pinched by all this bone growth, all this calcification. And there were times where I literally would just move my eyes inside their sockets, and it would trigger these flashes of pain that would just completely coat my vision in red. The whole world would go red. The pain was so bad. And I was taking, a whole range of pharmaceutical drugs to help combat it. And also, I was I chose to really fight this through exercise, through yoga, through proper diet. But I still was taking NSAIDs, these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and sometimes these steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs to combat this disease. And then at one point, about 5 years ago, someone said, "Have you tried CBD? Have you tried cannabinoids?" And just so the audience knows, I'm your classic, really wouldn't do THC, marijuana. I'm actually very, very sensitive. I have this great relationship, I think, with, I'll call it sort of ancestral medicines like peyote, like mushrooms, as sort of a sort of spiritual journey experience, but like on a sort of, hey, casual way, or like, throughout the week, I'm just not, I don't really do, marijuana per se, particularly because I'm very, very sensitive to it. I'm hypersensitive. So I just, it's almost too much for me. So I was scared 5 years ago when someone said to me, "Yo, Blake, you're suffering, man. You're in pain 24/7. You should try some CBD. You should try some cannabinoids." I was scared. I won't lie. I was like, I don't know if that's for me, I just don't know. But finally it was still had so much pain I was dealing with. I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I was blown away. I was utterly blown away. Here I am taking these highly engineered chemicals out of pharmaceutical labs and still just kind of getting by, it just, the pharmaceutical stuff, the drugs would just kind of numb the pain that I was experiencing. But then I take this just very simple, elegant, full spectrum plant extract from the hemp plant. And I remember having this moment of like kind of looking at my body and going, wait a minute, where'd the pain go? I feel pretty dang good. It was like this, like, you gotta, I sort of held, I held up the tincture. I'm like, what the heck's in this stuff? Like, what is this stuff? And anyway, I'm a poster child. I'm a believer. That's all I can say.
And
so you're completely cured now?
No, I don't. I'll put the word "cure" in quotes, right? Like, no one would ever know looking at me. You really wouldn't know. Though again, I'm still very gentle with my body. Like, I wouldn't come over there and do some practice fighting with Ganesh. I'd be like, man, I'd be scared I'd break every bone in my body. But compared to the prognosis or compared to the future that these rheumatologists laid out for me, which was downright terrifying. Like they said right away, you're never going to run again. You may never walk again. This is what's coming, pal. Get ready for it. Man, forget cure. Like I feel just grateful, beyond grateful that I am where I am right now, and CBD products have been a big part of that.
Yeah, you look great. I could never have told, unless you told me, I would never know.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
that's amazing.
And it's been a journey. It's been a ride. Yeah. Which just makes me all the more passionate. It's why literally I want to fly over India with a giant microphone going, everyone try CBD, because I want to just broadcast it to the world, like, come on, people, get over the stigma, people. Come on. This is 2020, You know,
Yeah.
come on, you know, try it. It's again, you know, even if it's not THC, you know, cannabis products, just man, just do the hemp stuff. It's like there's no reason to not try it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even understand the stigma in India because it's been part of our
Right.
culture. You know?
Yeah, thousands of
Culture.
years. I was shocked to learn that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more stigma here in the United States. We had a lot more stigma to overcome than you guys in India. It should be a piece of cake for you.
I think America invented the stigma and then spread it around the world. That's what happened.
Dude, we caused so much trouble. All I can, on behalf of America, I'm sorry. Let me just make that statement right. On behalf of this entire dang country,
Ashwin,
I apologize.
Ashwin, we can retire now. Ashwin, we finally got this right.
But it's okay. America's leading the way for legalization too, so it's cool.
Good point. Karma,
forgive you,
huh?
man.
Karma.
All these years, America never apologized for destroying the herb in our culture, which was being used for 5,000 years. Finally,
Oh, good,
we are
good.
vindicated.